Good morning. Today we are going to start discussing course Audit 2 from the point we ended last lecture. We are going to discuss trend analysis, chapter 2, analytical procedures, trend analysis and regression analysis. Okay. Plus we are going to go to chapter 1, audit risk and audit materiality in auditing, and we are going to discuss part 1 from this chapter, audit risk. Okay. Now let's start with analytical review process, how we can do analytical procedures through 4 steps. First of all, I'm going to discuss the lecture or the slide in English, then translate into Arabic for those who need to understand what we are saying in Arabic, okay? First of all, of analytical procedures in this lecture, we are going to discuss the analytical review process. To do analytical review process, we have 4 stages or 4 phases we have to go as an auditor through as an auditor. First of all is formulating expectations or build expectations. In this phase, the auditor have to develop his expectations about the amount that should appear in the financial statement account based on prior years or budgets, industry information, and non-financial information. So how he is going to collect the information that he is going to build is her expectations based on from the industry, from the economic environment, from the barrier information, or financial information or non-financial information in the firm. Okay. Second, he built his expectations in phase 1. So in phase 2, he's going to compare between what he is expected and what is recorded amount. In this phase, we called it identifications. In this phase, he's going to compare between what he is expected and what is in what is in the real financial statements or real balances, account balances. Okay. Of course, with this comparing results, or the comparing results give him some differences or some difference between what he is expected and what he is in the real, or what is in the real value or the recorded value. This third phase, this going us to third phase. Third phase, we call investigations. This means in this third phase or third stage, he's have to make an investigations about about explanations, possible explanations for the difference between expected and recorded amount. Okay. In phase 4, he have to make an impact or evaluate, and this phase we're calling evaluation. You have to evaluate the impact of the differences between what's expected and what is recorded in the financial statements. Is this differences making material misstatements, meaning material misstatements, or meaning fraud, error, something like this. Okay. So to make analytical review processes, we have 4 stages. Stage 1, expectations. Stage 2, identifications. Stage 3, investigations. And stage 4, evaluation. Okay. Now I'm going to translate into Arabic. Okay. We have 4 steps، او عندنا 4 خطوات المراجع بيعملهم as an auditor we must do عشان نقدر نعمل الاناليتيكال ريفيو بروسيس، او نقدر نعمل خطوات عملية الاجراءات التحليلية او الاناليتيكال بروسيجرز. اول خطوه step 1 ان احنا هنعمل building an expectations. You as an auditor, you have to build your expectation about what is you are expected about this account balance. انت متوقع ايه as an auditor للاكونت بالانس ده. طيب انت هتبني توقعاتك او الاكسبكتيشنز بتاعتك دي ازاي؟ هتبني الاكسبكتيشنز بتاعتك دي بناء على information you gathering او evidence information you gathering from financial statements, prior financial statements, from budgets. Okay. From industry information, from non-financial information. يبقى انت بتبني توقعاتك دي your expectations على بيانات قبل كده خاصة بالفاينانشال ستيتمنت بالشركة نفسها، او البادجتس اللي هي expectations او planning البلاننج اللي بتعملها الشركة عن اللي هي عايزاه يكون السنة الجاية شكله عامل ازاي، او هي بتبقى بلاننج انها البرودكشن بتاعها يبقى ازاي، الكاش بتاعها يبقى ازاي، وهكذا. والاندستري انفورميشن هي المعلومات المتوفره في الصناعه، والنون فاينانشال انفورميشن هي المعلومات غير الماليه اللي هتوفرها. تمام. زي على سبيل المثال as we said before, if the auditing is going to make an audit for a hotel, so he have to gather some non-financial information like the number of the rooms, the number of the rooms, the rate of the room, of renting the room, okay, the rate of renting the room, is this where is the hotel in, or in for example in Sharm el-Sheikh, so he have to have more rating in winter more than in summer, something like this. Is non-financial information, and from this non-financial information he can gather financial information. Okay, so he built his expectations. Step 2, you have to compare the expectation. في الخطوة الثانية المفروض يقارن ما بين اللي هو بناه as expected واللي هو وصل له، او اللي هو فعلا الريكوردد فاليو اللي موجوده في الفاينانشال ستيتمنتس والفاينانشال ريكوردز فعليا. يبقى هو expected حاجه في ستيب 1، هيقارن ما بين اللي هو الاكسبكتد وما بين الفعلي في ستيب 2. ستيب 3 هو هيلاقي differences او هيلاقي اختلافات ما بين الاكسبكتد وبين الفاليو الريال فاليو او الريكوردد فاليو. يبقى هو المفروض في ستيب 3 هو يبدا يعمل investigation what possible reasons او ايه الاسباب اللي خلت فيه difference between expected and recorded value. في ستيب 4 هو هيبدا يلاقي بقى يشوف الايفالويت الامباكت، التاثير بتاع الديفرنس ده هيكون ايه على الفاينانشال ستيتمنتس او الاوديتنج اوف فاينانشال ستيتمنتس. هل هيكون في ماتيريال ميس ستيتمنتس فبالتالي هي شود جيف مثلا كواليفايد اوبينيون، ولا لا دي تشينجز مثلا نتيجه اختلافات بعيده عن الشركه فبالتالي هو مش هتتاثر، الشركه مش هتتاثر او الاوديتنج اوف فاينانشال مش هتتاثر. اوكي تمام. This is analytical review process. تمام. Let's discuss how this process we are going to use in trend analysis and in regression analysis. خلينا نشوف بقى الخطوات دي ازاي هنقدر نستخدمها في الترند اناليسيس، تحليل الاتجاه، والاناليتيك والريجريشن اناليسيس اللي هو تحليل الانحدار. Before we go to trend analysis and regression analysis, let's discuss this figure. Okay, this figure is discussing the four process or the four stages we discussed in the previous part on the previous slide. Okay, first of all in phase 1 he has to build his expectations. هيفوت في step 1 هو يبني الاكسبكتيشنز بتاعته، فيبقى الاكسبكتيشنز how to build his expectations through gathering an information, how he's going to accumulate or gathering this information from industry, from general economic information, from his experience as an auditor. Okay, then this lead us to step 2. Step 2, identifications. These identifications from he going to compare between expected value and current recorded account balances. This leading us to phase 3 investigation. Investigation is going to make the difference between recorded and expected, the reason between the recorded and expected value. Phase 4, okay, evaluations, he have to get it reasons for differences from step 3, and these reasons give him evaluate the effect of these reasons or these differences on the audit of financial statements. Okay, so this figure is summarizing, or it's a figure for the 4 steps in audit analytical review processes we discussed previously. Okay تمام كده. هنبدأ دي الرسمة دي بتلخص الاربع خطوات، بتورينا اننا اجيب المعلومات، ازاي اعمل لها evaluation، ازاي اعمل اشوف الريزنز فور differences، الاربع خطوات اللي احنا ناقشناهم في السلايد اللي فاتت. Now we are going to discuss trend analysis. Trend analysis بيقوم على ان الاوديتور هيبقى عنده عدد من السنوات او عدد من المعلومات خاصة ب item او account balance في الفاينانشال statements، والمعلومات دي بناء عليها هيستخدم حاجة اسمها base year او base amount اللي هي سنة الاساس. اوكي، هيستخدم فورمولا اللي هي percentage of base بي equal analysis amount divided by base amount multiply 100% عشان يبدأ يشوف الترند بتاع الايتم او الترند الخاص بالايتم ده وضعه ماشي ازاي. هل بي increasing فبالتالي is expecting in the year of the auditing the year he's doing audit financial audit process تمام هيزيد ولا بيقل؟ طب لو هو المفروض بيقل ومفروض ان الاكسبكتيشنز ان هو يزيد، فيبقى هو ساعتها هيبدا يبني يبقى هيكمبير بين expected والrecorded، وهيبدا يعمل evaluation وinvestigation وايفالويشن. يبقى هيطبق الاربع خطوات في الترند. يبقى in trend analysis the auditor is going to build his expectations based on the trend, based on the rate of item in financial statement, rate of items in several years, and based on this several years he's going to expect what is the rate of the item in the specific year he's going to audit. Okay, to get trend analysis he have to follow the following formula: percentage of base equal analysis amount divided by base amount multiply 100%. Okay, so using trend analysis he's going to build his expectations. Okay, he built his expectations based on the previous years, previous or prior financial statements or prior numbers about this item in the financial statements. Then using trend analysis he built his expectation. Step 2, he is going to compare between what is expected and what is recorded. Okay, he expected from the trend analysis that this item is going to increase, so this is his expectations. This is the first step. Second step, he's going to compare between what's expected and what's recorded. Going to find, if he going to find that recorded is different what's expected, then this lead us to steps 3, investigate the reasons why there is difference between what's expected and what's recorded. Number 4, step 4, he's going to evaluate the difference or the effect of the differences on the audit of the financial statements. So let's discuss how to going to do trend analysis, how to go and make this analysis through example number 1. Example number 1, as an auditor, sorry I forgot to tell you that the auditor has to choose base year. Base year is the auditor is the one he's going to choose based on his experience, but there is some conditions we have to make it through choosing base year. This base year should be normal year without unfamiliar conditions or unfamiliar political conditions or economic events or unfamiliar events in the industry of this company, of the client industry. Okay, يبقى الاوديتور هو اللي بيختار سنه الاساس او البيز يير. سنه الاساس المفروض تكون سنه طبيعيه ما فيهاش اي مشاكل اقتصاديه او سياسيه او مشاكل في صناعه العميل، في السيكتور بتاع العميل. تمام. Okay, example now 1, as an auditor you decided to use trend analysis to analyze the change for accounts gross sales and gross margin in 2009. The auditor used year 2005 as a base year. Okay, so the auditor is going to choose to audit 2009 and he's going to use trend analysis using 2005 as a base year. He gave you a table from 5 years, 2005 as a base year, 2009 as a year of the auditing process. Okay, gross sales for the 5 years and gross margin for the 5 years. Okay, let's discuss how to the solution of this example. Solutions or the answer: gross profit. So we are going to use the formula current analysis divided by base analysis multiply 100%. Okay, so 2005 29,500,000 divided by 7,600,000. Okay, multiply 100% is going to be 167.61%. Okay, this gross sales rate. 2008, okay, 2008 24, sorry, I'm going to start from 2005. I'm so sorry, I started from the last year or the year we are going to audit. From 2005, this is the base year, 17,600,000. Okay, divided by 17,600,000 is going to give me 100%. Divided by going to give me 100%. This is the rate of gross sales in 2005. The rate of gross sales in 2006, 21,700 divided by 70,600 is going to give us 123.30%. 24,369,000 100 divided by 70,600 is going to give us 138.46%. 24,900 divided by 70,600 is going to give us 141.48%. 29,500 divided by 70,600 is going to give us 167.61%. Check these rates. We are from 2005 to 2006 to 2009. We find out that the gross sales rate is increasing. The rate is increasing. Okay, we should find out if gross margin rate is in the same rate, increasing the same rate, or vice versa, or there's something thing. If the gross margin rate in the same way, in the same rate, or the same rate as gross sales rate, this meaning I'm going to accept this rate. Okay, so let's do gross margin rate to find out if the rate of gross margin is the same, in the same way, in the same rate as gross sales rate. Okay, for 2005, 5,000 divided by 5,000 is going to give us 100%. In 2006, 4,500 divided by 5,000 is going to give us 129. In 2006, 869 divided by 5,000 is going to give us 177.38%. In 2008, 6,700 divided by 5,000 is going to give us 134%. Okay, in 2009, 8,900 divided by 5,000 is going to give us 161.86%. Okay, check this rate. We are going to find that this rate is increasing, also increasing. So gross margin percentage rate and sales percentage rate increase at the same rate. So the auditor is going to accept the accounts as free from material misstatements. يبقى انا عندي هنا لو بصينا على الريت بتاع السيلز، الجروس سيلز والجروس مارجن، هنلاقي الاثنين بيزيدوا. فبالتالي بما ان الاثنين بيزيدوا تقريبا في نفس السيم ريت، فبالتالي انا هعمل accepted. انا as an auditor هاكسبت الموضوع الاكونتس دي انها free from material misstatement، ما فيهاش اي اخطاء. اوكي تمام. ده how we doing trend analysis. ده ازاي نقدر نعمل الترند analysis. دلوقتي هنبدأ ننتقل. now we are going to move to how to make or how to do regression analysis. how to do regression analysis. Now we are going to use regression analysis as a way or as a technique for analytical procedures. اوكي هنبدأ دلوقتي نتكلم على regression analysis. regression analysis كوسيلة او كأحد طرق الاناليتيكال procedures او الاجراءات التحليلية. تمام. regression analysis based على theoretical linear relationship between two variables. هو between two variables. It's based on that a value of one variable can be used to predict the value of another variable. يبقى هو علاقة خطية between أو بين اتنين متغيرين، وقايم على قاعدة based إن لو أنا عندي value تمام هقدر أجيب الفاليو التاني. لو أنا عندي القيمة أو الفاليو لفاريبل هقدر أجيب القيمة أو الفاليو لفاريبل تاني. تمام. طيب we use the following equation to get regression analysis to get the linear relation between two variables. y equal alpha plus beta x plus e. اوكي دي الايكويشن عندي اللي هي بنقول ان y بيساوي الفا زائد بيتا x زائد e. طب تعال نشوف كل variable او كل في الايكويشن كل variable من دول معناها ايه، او كل متغير من دول معناهم ايه. Now let's find out what's the meaning of every variable in this equation. yi meaning the variable that we wish to estimate. y ده المتغير او الفاريبل اللي انا عايز اقدره. اوكي 2 x is the variable that we can observe to assist us in developing our expectations. or x is the variable that given for me, that I have the information about these variables, the values of these variables. يبقى x هو المتغير اللي انا اللي عندي معلومات عنه او عندي الرقم بتاعه او قيمته. a and b alpha and beta or A and B دول مفروض عندي اللي هم الكونستانت او الثوابت لمعادله الانحدار. اوكي or الريجريشن parameters. A and B or alpha and beta is the regression parameters or the constant of the regression equation. Okay, A and B defines the relation between X and Y. هما ثوابت, they are constant and they are defining the relation. So if I have, for example, A was 1.2 and B is 1.4, so the equation of the regression is going to be Y equal 1.2 plus 1.3 x. So when I have any information about Y, if I know that x was 3, for example, so Y equal 1.2 plus 1.3 multiply 3. Okay, this is how we can use A and B. So A and B is the parameters that defines the relation between X and Y. By deriving values, by knowing the values for A and B, we can predict the value of Y given any value of X. As the example I said, if A was 1.2, B was 1.3, and X was 3, so I can get Y equal 1.2 plus 1.3 multiply 3, so I can get Y. Okay, so the value of Y is going to be 5.1. Okay, this is a simple example to get it how we can use this equation, or how can A and B can defines the relations, can be used to predict the value of the variables that I wish to estimate. E, it's random error, which reflects that the relationship is not perfectly predictable. I have Y دي بنسميها عامل الخطأ العشوائي او الراندوم ايرور. معناه ان انا ما اقدرش الريليشنز دي, this relation between Y and X, okay, او the relation that the regression analysis or the regression equation can give not be perfectly predictable. ما اقدرش اتنبأ بيها بدرجة 100%, بنسبة 100%. okay, طيب how I can predict or how I can estimate A and B, okay, in the equation, because knowing A and B making it easier for me to predict Y. Okay, so we are going to use least square method. We are going to use least square method to get A and B. Okay, from the next slide we are going to discuss how we can use least square method. Least square method. Okay, to get it more easier for us, we are going to discuss it through an example. So example 3 discussing how to use regression analysis to predict, okay, Y. Okay, let's focus on Y. Y is going to be cost of sales, okay, and X is going to be direct labor hours. So examine the following data for the primarily analytical research for GOS company for the year 2016, an American tool manufacturer that relates cost of sales to direct labor hours. He gave me 12 months cost of sales. Okay, cost of sales, as we said, it's the variable that I want to estimate, so I prefer to estimate Y. And direct labor hours is the variable that I have the numbers, the values that going to give me a regression analysis, regression equation. Okay, required calculate a prediction for January 2017 costs of sales if direct labor hours was 8.67, if the actual cost of sales were 178.27, would you attribute it to an error؟ يعني هو هنا here he wants you to predict the cost of sales as Y in January 2017, because the last month he given to me was December 2016. Okay, so you want to predict the following year, January 2017, where he giving the X value, it was 8.67, and after you predict, you have to compare. So you predict, this is the first step, as we discussed analytical review process. You have a prediction, you have an estimation, so you estimate January 2017. Okay, Then he gave you the actual number, the recorded number was 178.26, and he want you to compare. This is the third, the second step, to compare between what you predicted and what is the actual number, the recorded value, and to investigate the why there is a difference between. If there is a difference, you have to investigate why there is a difference between what's predicted and what is actual number, and you give in and make an investigation. You investigate and then evaluate, is this attribute to an error or something else. Maybe you have an increasing in cost of the sales, maybe have the relations have something missing or something we need to know. اوكي، يبقى هو هنا عايزك تطبق الاربع خطوات بتاعه الاناليتيكال ريفيو بروسيس. ان هو الاول قال لك اعمل بريدكشن، ستيب نمبر 1 ان احنا نعمل بريدكشن او الاستيميشن، هنبريدكت الجانيوري 2017 كوست اوف سيلز. اوكي، بعد كده هنبدا نكمبير بتوين الاكشوال اللي هو 178.2.7 السيل اللي هو الكوست اوف سيلز الاكشوال بتاعتي باللي انا طلعتها في ستيب 1 اللي هي البريدكشن. وبعد كده هعمل ايفالويشن او هعمل انفستيجيشن. الاول ستيب 3 الانفستيجيت، بعد ما بعمل كومباريزون هشوف الديفرنس ما بينهم وهعمل انفستيجيت على الريزن للديفرنس ده اللي حصل. وبعد كده هعمل ايفالويشن اذا كانت الديفرنس دي هتاثر على الريزلت اوف اوديت اوف فاينانشال ستيتمنتس. يبقى زي ما احنا شفنا في الترند اناليسيس ودلوقتي شفنا في الريجريشن، هنشوف في الريجريشن اناليسيس انا فعلا في كل خطوه از ان اوديتور بطبق الفور ستيبس بتاعتي. But as we saw before in trend analysis and now we are going to see in regression analysis, we yes as an auditor using the 4 steps or following the 4 steps of analytical review process. Okay, let's solve this example and see how we can use least square method in predicting or in get A and B and then predict cost of sales or Y. Okay, first of all, first step we should have a column like this. This column is going to contain from months. Okay, y here is the y here is labor hours. Okay, sorry, y here is cost of sales and x is labor hours. Then we have x square. Okay, sorry, x power 2 and then xy. So we have five columns table. First column was months, second column was y, and y here was cost of sales, and x it's labor hours, direct labor hours, and x power 2. The fourth column was going to be x power 2, and fifth column was going to be xy, x multiply y. Okay, then in the last row we are going to sum y, the total of y, the total of the column y, the total of the column x, the total of the column x power 2, the total of the column xy. Okay, this is we are going to do in this table. After the table, we finish the table. Now we are going to get B and A. Intercept B or constant B equal n sigma xy minus sigma x sigma y divided by n sigma x power 2 minus xy power 2. Okay, or so n is the number of the years or of the months of the variables, number of the values of the variable. So I have 12 from January to December, so it's a 12, n equal 12. So B equal 12 divided by multiply 17,309.94 minus 1,912.07 multiply 106.55. Okay, divided by 12 multiply 984.3953 minus 106.55 power 2. Okay, so B equal 3,988.2215 divided by 459.8411. So B as a constant is going to equal 8.67. Okay, this is B. So x y يساوي A plus 8.6 x. So I still don't have A. So I have to calculate slope A or constant A to get the full equation that I'm going to use to get cost of sales at January 2017. So next slide we are going to see how we are going to calculate slope A or constant A. We are going to calculate slope A or constant A. A equal sigma y minus B sigma x divided by n. A هتساوي مجموع y ناقص B مجموع x على n. قلنا n قبل كده 12 واحنا مطلعين B and n equal 12, and we said in the previous slide that B is going to be 8.67. So A equal 1912.7 minus 8.67 multiply 106.55. Okay, so A is going to be 82.357. Okay, so the regression equation is going to be y equal 82.357 plus 8.67x. So when I need to get cost of sales, I should use this equation. This equation is going to be cost of sales y, in this example was cost of sales, equal 82.357 plus 8.67x, and x in our example was direct labor hours. Okay, so using this equation to get y as cost of sales in January 2017. He gave it to me. He asked me to predict cost of sales in January 2017. This is going to be in the next slide, how to get cost of sales using the regression equation in these slides. Cost of sales y in January 2017 is going to be 82.357 plus 8.67. This is B, and he giving me x. X, this meaning direct labor hours was 8.67. يبقى احنا عشان نجيب الكوست اوف سيلز اللي هي الواي في جانيوري 2017 هستخدم المعادله اللي هي A بتساوي 82.357 plus x. B was 8.67, and he giving me x as in January 2017 8.67. So y in January 2017, cost of sales in January 2017 was $157,259. Okay, so the prediction here was 157,559, and this is less than the actual cost of sales for the same period. Was in the same period the actual cost of sales was 178.227. So the auditor, so he predicted the first step, then he compared between the prediction and the actual number, and then he should investigate the potential causes why there is difference between the prediction and the actual number or the recorded costs. Okay, so this is the third step in analytical review process. The auditor must design audit procedures to identify the cause of these differences, determine whether material misstatements exist. So determine whether a material statement exists. This is the evaluation, the fourth step. يبقى هنا احنا شفنا لما هو اتنبأ بالcost of sales في جانيوري 2017 طلعت له 157.5259 وكانت اقل من الاكشوال كوست للسيلز في السيم بيريود اللي هي 178.27. يبقى احنا كده عملنا first step prediction. second step we comparing between the prediction and the actual cost, we get the difference. So the third step we have to investigate the potential cause why there is difference, because he need to know if these are the evaluation, he need to know if these are material misstatements or not. Okay, this is the decision the auditor must take after he doing this regression analysis. Okay, by end of this example now we finish chapter 2 analytical procedures, and now we are going to move to chapter 1 audit risk and materiality in auditing. And so materiality and audit risk, and we find out we are going to discuss audit risk, part of audit risk, and the rest of audit risk and the materiality we are going to discuss in the second lecture. So audit risk, as we discussed before, زي ما قلنا قبل كده as we discussed before ان الاوديتور على طول شغال في بيئة فيها uncertain، هو مش شغال في بيئة مش مليئة بالتأكد. okay, so the auditor working in uncertain environment, this uncertain environment make him not sure that he is not going to face, that he is going to not sure is going to express the appropriate audit opinion. okay, so the audit risk is the risk that the auditor not going to express appropriate audit opinion while he doing the audit process, after he finished the audit process. يبقى هنا معناها الاوديت ريسك ان الاوديتور هي احتماليه ان الاوديتور يدي او express راي مش سليم incorrect opinion. ممكن يقول maybe the financial statements are free from material misstatements, but he's going to say that the financial statements are, is materiality misstated, or he giving should be give clean opinion while he give qualified opinion, or he should give qualified opinion while he give clean opinion. So this is the risk. The risk, audit risk, is the risk that the auditor express an appropriate audit opinion when the financial statements are materially misstated. In simple way, the auditor maybe give inappropriate audit opinion. okay, inappropriate, whether this inappropriate audit opinion clean while it should qualified, or qualified where he should clean. okay, يبقى الاوديت ريسك عندي هو احتماليه ان المراجع يدي راي مش سليم. اوكي، maybe هو ممكن الرأي ده يكون المفروض يكون clean opinion or unqualified opinion، لكن هو يدي qualified او qualified opinion هو يدي unqualified opinion. اوكي تمام. طيب عشان نبدأ نعرف ازاي الاوديتور بيحسب الاوديت ريسك، خلينا نتفق ان الاكسبتبل اوديت ريسك في الستاندرز، the standard says that acceptable audit risk for the auditor shouldn't be more than 5%. 5% is the maximum of acceptable audit risk for the auditor. Okay, how are we going to calculate, how me as an auditor can calculate audit risk? Audit risk is equation from 3 components. There is 3 components of audit risk. First of all, material misstatements occurring in the financial statements, and this is we call inherent risk. Okay, some items are acceptable to be materially misstated more than other items. Okay, second part or second component of audit risk is internal control system. Internal control system failing to detect or correct a misstatement. This is related, so the second part is control risk, and this is related to internal control system of the company, of the client. So I have these 2 components. These 2 components not related to the auditor. These 2 components related to directly related to the client. The auditor can't control these two components. And these 2 components we say it as risk of material misstatements. We use it in one as audit risk of material misstatements. The third component is related to the auditor and his ability to detect the misstatement. So the third component of audit risk is detection risk, the auditor failing to detect misstatements. So audit risk equal probability of material misstatements multiply probability of internal control failure multiply probability of auditor failure. So probability of material misstatements, probability of internal control failure related to the client. The auditor can control these 2 components, but the third component, probability of auditor failure, is related to the auditor himself, and he can control it by increasing analytical procedures or substantive procedures as he like. Okay, يبقى احنا عندنا الاوديت ريسك بيتكون من 3 مكونات. المكون الاولاني اللي هو الماتيريال ميس ستيتمنتس، وده ليه علاقه بالانهيرنت ريسك، ان بعض الحسابات او بعض الاكونتس بتكون ليها قابليه اكتر ان يحصل فيها فرود اور ايرورز عن اكونتس تانية، وده باعتبار ان انا ما عنديش نظام افكتيف للرقابه الداخليه يقدر يراقب الموضوع ده. يبقى ده اول حاجه مرتبطه بالنيتشر اوف ذا اكونتس. second part او second component of audit risk هو مرتبط بالinternal control. الانترنال كنترول سيستم fail to correct or detect misstatement، عندها failing انها تقدر تعمل عمليه اكتشاف للاخطاء او misstatements او تصلح الاخطاء او misstatements في financial statements. اوكي، يبقى التو بارتس دول او التو كومبوننتس دول مش مرتبطين بالاوديتور، هم مرتبطين اكتر بالكلاينت، مرتبطين اكتر بعميل المراجعه، ان هو المفروض الاوديتور مش هيقدر يكنترول عليهم، لان المفروض ان طبيعه الحسابات النيتشر اوف اكونتس والانترنال كنترول سيستم، الانترنال كنترول سيستم اللي بيعمله ديزايننج هو الكلاينت، فبالتالي الاوديتور ما ملوش دعوه بيه، هو كل اللي بيعمله هو بيعمل له اسسمنت عشان يشوف هاو باور او ايه هو السترينجز والويكنس في الانترنال كنترول سيستم، لكن هو ملوش كنترول على التو ريسكس دول، فهو بيدخل يلاقيهم اصلا ويعمل لهم اسسمنت مش اكتر. لكن الثيرد كومبوننت بقى اللي هو الديتكشن ريسك، ده اللي هو ليه كنترول عليه الاوديتور. الاوديتور ليه كنترول ان هو يبدا يشوف يوسع حجم الاجراءات الاناليتيكال بروسيجر بتاعته والسبستنتيف بروسيجرز بتاعته عشان يوسع قدرته على الديتكت للميس ستيتمنتس. اوكي، يبقى الاوديت ريسك هم 3 probability ان في ماتيريال ميس ستيتمنتس ده بنسميها inherent risk، probability ان في internal control failure ودي بنسميها control risk، probability ان الاوديتور نفسه يتعمل له fail او يبقى failure او يحصل عمليه audit failure audit process failure، ودي بتبقى الديتكشن ريسك. اوكي، طيب يبقى هنا عندي الاوديت ريسك موديل بيساوي AR audit risk model meaning AR equal IR multiply CR multiply DR. AR meaning overall audit risk, and we said that overall audit risk standard said auditing standard said not more 5%. اوكي، يبقى المعايير قالت لك ان الاوفر اول اوديت ريسك او اللي هو خطر المراجعه النهائي ما يزيدش عن 5%. لو 5% refuse the service refuse this contract. لو اكتر من 5% انت هترفض التعاقد اللي ما بينك وما بين العميل او ترفض البروسيس دي كلها، العمليه دي كلها. اوكي، الاي ار meaning inherent risk is the risk that material misstatements that material error exists given no internal control. Already I have material exists, this is meaning I don't have internal control. Okay, CR control risk meaning the risk that material error goes undetected uncorrected by the firm's internal control. CR او الكنترول ريسك معناها ان الماتيريال ميس ستيتمنتس الموجوده في الفاينانشال ستيتمنتس ما اتصححتش وما تمش اكتشافها عن طريق نظام الرقابه الداخليه او الانترنال كنترول سيستم. الدي ار detection risk that the auditor will not detect the material misstatements that exist in the assertion. This is the failing for the auditor. DR meaning that the auditor failed to detect material misstatements. الدي ار او detection risk معناها ان الاوديتور فشل في ان هو يكتشف الاخطاء الموجوده في القوائم الماليه او الاخطاء الجوهريه الماتيريال ميس ستيتمنتس. يبقى الاوديت ريسك موديل AR equal IR multiply CR multiply DR. اوكي، الكيرنج here caring that to get DR. IR and CR the auditor can't control, but he can control DR. So the problem here, the auditor must evaluate or make an assessment of DR, detection risk, and this is how we can use this model. So DR equal IR divided by IR multiply CR, and this we are going to see the following slide. Before we get to know how to calculate DR, let's discuss every component of the audit risk model. First of all, inherent risk or IR. IR or inherent risk recognize that an error is more likely to occur in some areas than in others, meaning there is some accounts that are acceptable to be misstatements to have errors than other accounts. معناها هنا ان في حسابات عندي ليها قابليه انها تحصل فيها اخطاء اكتر من حسابات تانية. تمام، فور اكزامبل انا ممكن يحصل عندي في الفورنر كارنسي ترانسليشن لما اجي اعمل ترجمه للعملات الاجنبيه ممكن يحصل عندي اخطاء. تمام، او لما باجي اعمل الديفيردد انكم تاكس او لما اجي احسب الضرائب المؤجله ممكن تحصل عندي اخطاء في الحساب. اوكي، يبقى دي حسابات طبيعتها الفورن كارنسي ترانسليشن دي حسابات طبيعتها ان ممكن يحصل فيها مشكله في الحساب. اوكي، يبقى الاوديتور المفروض دوره ان هو يعمل ايدنتيفيكيشنز للاكونتس دي اللي ممكن تكون اكسبتبل اكتر او more acceptable to material misstatements. خلاص. والاوديتور لازم يعمل عمليه audit plan adjusted reflecting او to reflect the increased inherent risk. يعمل عمليه audit plan توضح ان في زياده في الاوديت او في inherent risk. So inherent risk meaning there is some accounts that are more acceptable to be material misstatements or to be more misstatement errors in this account. So the auditor must plan his audit plan, make audit plan. It should be adjusted to reflect the increasing inherent risk, to reflect there is an increasing in these types of accounts. He should be, as an auditor, identify these accounts. Must be identify these accounts that are more acceptable or more willing to have errors or material misstatements. For example, foreign currency translations. This is some kind of accounts. Maybe when I'm going to translate this foreign currency from dollar to Egyptian currency, for example, this maybe make me some mistakes. When I'm going to calculate diverted taxes, income taxes, maybe have some errors. This type of accounts that are willing to have errors or misstatements. Okay? Second component of internal control of audit risk model is control risk. Control risk meaning that the audit risk system internal control system in the entity can't detect or correct or find out the misstatements or material misstatements in the transactions. So there is a weakness in the internal control system. Internal control system weak, can define or detect the misstatements in the financial statements. يبقى الانترنال كنترول ريسك او الكنترول ريسك معناها ان السيستم بتاع الانترنال كنترول اللي الكلاينت اصلا عامل له ديزايننج فشل في ان هو يديتكت or يكوركت or material misstatements or errors. Okay? So control risk reflects the possibility that the client system of controls will allow errors items to be recorded and not detected in the ordinary course of processing. يبقى هو بيسمح ان يحصل اخطاء وبيسمح ان هو حتى ما بيكتشفش الاخطاء دي وما بيعالجهاش او ما بيصححهاش. تمام؟ طيب last one بقى يبقى احنا كده دول الانهيرنت ريسك والكنترول ريسك related to auditor, related to related to the client, related to his process, his systems, his type of accounts. لكن النوع الثالث اللي هنناقشه دلوقتي related to the client, the auditor. The auditor هو اللي بيعمل الديكتيشن. So the third component is related to the auditor. Inherent control, inherent risk and control risk related to client. And detection risk related to auditor. So detection risk, the risk of the auditor, direct testing on analysis. So he used analytical procedures or substantive procedures will not detect a material misstatements exist in account balance. So detection risk divided to the auditor making two tests: analytical procedures, and this meaning that analytical procedures we discussed in chapter 2 fail to find this to detect misstatements. Also when he used substantive procedures also fail to detect misstatements of financial statements. So detection risk is the risk that the auditor direct testing or analysis of an account balance will not detect material misstatements that exist in account balance. Detection risk is controlled by the auditor, as we said, and it's integral part of audit planning. He must while he doing audit planning, he must accumulate a detection risk. He must know what is the percentage of detection risk. Audit determination of detection risk influence the nature, amount, and timing of audit procedures to ensure that the audit achieves no more than the desired audit risk. يبقى تقييمه للاوديت ريسك سواء كانت النيتشر او الاماونت او بتاثر على النيتشر. الايفالويشن اوف اوديت ريسك اوف ديتكشن ريسك evaluate or influence or impact direct impact on the nature, timing, amount of audit procedures. So ده اللي هو مرتبط بالاوديتور. هو لما بيعمل ديتكشن ريسك سليم، لما بيعمل عمليه ديترمينيشن للديتكشن ريسك هيأثر على طبيعه وكميه الاجراءات اللي هيعملها ووقت الاجراءات اللي هيعملها. اوكي تمام. دلوقتي now we are going to see how we can calculate the level or how we can find the level of detection risk. Okay, example number 4, we are going to see how we can get the level of detection risk. Example 4, if the auditor is willing to accept an audit risk of 5%, this meaning he is the overall audit risk, the acceptable audit risk is going to be 5%. Or in another wording, setting the confidence level at 95%. If the audit risk is 5%, uncertain 5%, so the confidence level is going to be 95%. Okay? And the auditor, now we are not going to use 95, only we are going to use 5%. And next lecture, we are going to say why I'm using the confidence level at 95%. Okay? And the auditor has assessed inherent risk and control risk as 70% and 50%. So overall audit risk 5%, inherent risk 70%, control risk 50%. Required, what level of detection risk is implied by this information? Solutions, DR, detection risk, equal IR equal divided by CR multiply IR. So detection risk equal 5% divided by 70% multiply 50%. So DR is going to be 40%, 14%. Okay, it's going to be 14%. Okay، يبقى هنا عندنا الاكزامبل ده بيقول لي ان هو عايز يشوف الاوديت ريسك اللي هو الديتكشن ريسك بيساوي كام. فساعتها اتقال ان الاوديت ريسك بيساوي 5% اللي هي الاوفر اول اوديت ريسك بيساوي 5%، او كونفيدنس ليفل اللي هي معدل الثقه او مستوى الثقه بيساوي 95% 95%. هنشوف احنا طبيعي ان انا لو عندي احتماليه احتمال عدم تاكد 5% واحتمال خطر 5%، يبقى عندي احتمال ثقه 95%. اوكي، الانهيرنت ريسك عندي كان 70% والكنترول ريسك كان 50%، فهو عايز يعرف الديتكشن ريسك هيكون كام. الديتكشن ريسك بيساوي AR اللي هي الاوفر اول اوديت ريسك او الاكسبتد اوديت ريسك divided by CR control risk multiply IR inherent risk. يبقى ال DR هيساوي 5% divided by 70% 50% multiply مضروبة في 50% 50%. اوكي، equal 14%، او يبقى detection risk عندي equal 14%. اوكي، هنا هنوقف المحاضرة هنا، والنكست ليكتشر ان شاء الله هنتكلم فيها على audit risk وهنتكلم على materiality in auditing. So now we are going to finish our lecture. Next lecture we are going to discuss the rest of audit risk, and the rest of risk meaning we know it. We need to discuss what is the meaning of confidence level at 95%, and we are going to discuss materiality in auditing, but we need to discuss our assignment. Our assignment for this lecture is going to be chapter 2, page 103, exercise number 16. This is in chapter 2, analytical procedures, from your book. In chapter 1, materiality and audit risk, we have two exercises, exercise number 9, page 96, and exercise number 10, page 97. Okay, thank you.